Good morning, my dear students. So we have been completed the second module in previous class on fundamentals of electrical drives. Today we'll see the next module or next topic, induction motor drives. Okay. So most of the domestic as well as industrial appliances are used the induction motors. Okay. So the induction motors are works on the AC supply. So it means the induction motors are in AC motors. Okay, so they are called the work hours of the industry. Okay, because it works on the AC supply, so that's why the depending upon the hours we are going to run the induction motors here. Roughly almost 60 to 70% of the electrical device are induction motors. As I said, most of the industry appliances as well as the domestic appliances are using the induction motors here to run the motor. And the electrical drives are induction motors, so they are so popular that they are found applications in various sectors, starting from domestic appliances to industrial appliances. One can find induction motor almost in every applications in one's life. So we are using one or the other way induction motors in any appliances or applications. So let us look at the construction of induction motors here, and it is very simple also. So let us consider the rotor here. Okay, let us consider the rotor, and the starter. We have the starter here. Okay, the rotor usually carries bars or winding here. Okay, so this is the, so I written as a simply R here. R is the rotor and the S is the stator. Okay, so this rotor usually carries the bars or windings. Okay, okay, so usually the rotor carries the bars or the windings, and we have this air gap between the starter and the winding here. So we can observe this. We have the air gap here. Okay, so simply I write it as a AG. AG is nothing but the air gap in between the starter and the rotor here. So we have the windings. Okay, so windings in the starter here. So then the starter carries the AC windings, and they are the starter conductor. So you can look here. So these are the starter conductors carries on the rotor here. Okay, okay, so we have the AC windings on the starter. So it is going to starter conductor, which are the placed in the slurry, because in between the air gap. Okay, so usually when we say that we have a three-phase induction motor, this starter, okay, whatever this is there now, this starter will produce or is capable of taking three phases. Okay, this is more capable of taking the three phases power supply over the starter here, and so that equivalent circuit of this motor can be drawn in per phase. Okay, so we'll draw the equivalent circuit diagram for this induction motor drives. Okay, so let us, I will draw here. We have the leakage resistance of the starter, and we have the reactance of starter that is connected with some reactance or leakage reactance of the rotor, and that is connected with variable resistance of the starter here, sorry, rotor here. So in between the starter and rotor we have been connected the magnetizing reactance. So this is the supply voltage, V here. Okay, V, and this is the starter resistance. So this is the reactance of the starter or leakage reactance, and this is the magnetizing reactance, and this is the JX R star, or the leakage reactance of the rotor here, or the, we'll call it as the JXR prime here. Similarly, this is the variable leakage reactance of the rotor resistance. So then R dash or R prime divided by S, we'll call it as, okay, divided by the slip here, and the slip is given by, okay, so same equivalent circuit diagram I have drawn here, you can look over this. Okay, so then the leakage reactance, whatever we are getting in per phase, it adds some slips. Okay, so slip is given by the, or we are more familiar with this equation, S is equal to omega ms minus omega m by omega ms. Okay, so where S is the slip of the induction motor and W omega m is the synchronous speed. Okay, and Wm is the rotor speed of the induction motor here. So whatever we are going to give the supply voltage to the, so this complete is nothing but the starter winding. Okay, so this is the rotor winding here. Okay, in between the starter and rotor winding we have the magnetizing circuit here. So when we are going to give the supply voltage to the starter here, the drive starts rotating in clockwise direction. Okay, the rotor starts rotating in clockwise direction. If the rotor starts rotating in a clockwise direction, the whatever the starter conductors are there or AC windings on the starter, so these are rotating in a clockwise direction. For example, if it is a three-phase supply, so okay, if it is a three-phase supply, so we have the X, Y and Z, or XYZ are the three-phase supplies over the three-phase supply on the induction motor. So then in between these two will be the 120 firing angle here. Okay, so then it starts rotating in clockwise direction. Then if the phases are the it is going to rotate on the clockwise direction or the forward direction, the synchronous speed of the motor will be at rotating magnetic field. It means it is directly depending upon this magnetic field here or winding here. So let us define the slip here. So we know that S is equal to omega ms minus omega m divided by omega ms. So then what is this omega ms synchronous speed? Synchronous speed is nothing but is equal to 2 pi f by p into 2 pi. So it is in radian per second. We are going to define the synchronous speed in revolution per minute or radian per seconds. So then it will be 2 f by p into 2 pi. Then if we are going to define the omega ms or synchronous speed is equal to 2 f by p into 60. So it is nothing but in revolution per minute or 120 f by p. If we are going to measure in a speed in revolution per meter, so then it is 120 f by p here. So where p is the number of poles in the induction motor. So let us consider for equivalent circuit diagram whatever we have here. So if we changed the or if we are shifting the magnetizing circuit to the left hand side or the approximate equivalent circuit, then it will looks like this. Okay, so let us redraw whatever we have the equivalent circuit diagram for the per phase. So for approximate equivalent circuit, so then same thing, we have the RS here, starter resistance, starter reactance here, we have the XR dash, the prime of XR dash and the prime of R dash here divided by S. So then connected with some voltage, supply voltage. Okay, then it will be a complete loop here. So this part is nothing but if you are going to divide the circuit here, so this is the starter, so this is the rotor here. Okay, so whatever the current flowing in the starter winding is the IS here, the current flowing in the rotor winding will be the IR dash, that is IR prime here. So then current flowing across the magnetic circuit will be IM here. So okay, so now we have the power in between the starter and rotor winding here. Okay, whatever the power flowing or it's passing or it's flows through the starter to rotor, power which flows from the starter to rotor is called the air gap power. We have the air gap in between the starter and the rotor here. Okay, so this complete this is there no, so this is the air gap. So we need to calculate the power across the air gap here. So then the power is flowing from starter to rotor here, that we are going to give the notation as a PC. So then we are going to calculate the power here for the air gap. PC is equal to IR square, because why we have taken the IR square into R dash by S here, because power is right now in this region, okay, in rotor region. So then IR square into RS divided by R dash divided by R prime divided by S here. So then we have considered the three phase supply here, then multiply by 3, so then it will be Pg is equal to 3ir square into r dash or r prime divided by s here. So then similarly calculate the current across the rotor winding here. Then ir prime is equal to v divided by rs plus r dash divided by s plus j xs in plus xr prime here. So this is the current equation and this is the power in the air gap here. So then we have the losses here in the rotor. So then the copper losses in the rotor can be defined as PRCU, so is equal to 3 I r prime square into r prime here. So copper loss is equal to I square r loss. Okay, so then 3, we have considered the 3 phase here, 3 ir square into r dash here. So the slip is a mechanical output here. Okay, as we know that, so there are only two variable here. So okay, so you can see this current equation here. So because r is a electrically coupled resistance, okay, so that is fixed here. So then reactance is also fixed here, then rotor reactance fixed, rotor resistance is fixed one here. So we have the S here. Okay, so only the mechanically oriented or variable is S here. So then we are calculating the air gap power here in the rotor winding. So then we have only one rotor resistance here. So with that we are going to couple one more mechanically coupled output here, that I call it as r dash into 1 by s minus 1, or it has some slip mechanically output. So then this output we are going to consider as a resistance, whatever it is there, that is going to represents the mechanical output or some slip here, that is fluctuating the output here. So then the mechanical power we are going to calculate as, it is written as Pm is equal to Pg minus losses, Pr copper loss. So then if you are going to substitute the values here, Pg, we have the Pg here, we have the PCU here, copper losses, rotor copper loss, substitute it and we will get the Pm as 3 IR prime whole square into R prime into 1 minus S divided by S here. So then we have the torque here, then calculate the torque. Torque is equal to Pm divided by omega m. So then substitute it Pm we have, then we have the omega m also. So by this formula, because we know that S is equal to omega ms minus omega m divided by omega m, right? So then omega m is equal to what happens, 1 minus s into omega ms. If you are simplifying this equation, we will get the rotor speed here, omega m is equal to 1 minus s into omega ms. So then you can see this here. So we have solved omega m is equal to 1 minus s omega ms, or omega ms is equal to omega m divided by 1 minus s. So then substitute the omega m here, omega m is nothing but the 1 minus s into omega ms. Okay, so then omega ms is nothing but what here, 1 by omega ms is equal to 1 minus s by omega m. Okay, so that part we have considered here, 1 by s divided by omega m is the omega s here. Okay, so then the total torque in the rotor winding will be 3 IR prime square divided by omega ms into R prime divided by S here. So then expand this, so then you will get the, this is for the 3-phase supply. So then if you are simplifying this, or you are putting the torque in this equation, then because we know that R here, sorry, current in the rotor winding, substitute that, so then you will get the equation number 1 here. Then for maximum torque we have only one variable, that is slip, as I said that. So in this circuit, or in this current equation, the the rotor resistance and the R dash, X dash and XR dash are the fixed variables in the electrical drives. Only variable is slip here. So then at the this rotor winding, so then the, if you are going to or differentiate the torque here with respect to slip 0, so then we will get the maximum slip as the formula S max is equal to plus or minus R dash divided by RS square plus reactance of the starter and the reactance of the rotor here whole square. So then we have the plus or minus slip here, so it may be positive or it may be negative, so call it as equation number 2. Then substitute this equation number 2 in equation number 1, so here and here, so whatever the wherever the S is there, substitute there, so then we'll get the maximum torque here. The maximum torque is equal to 3 divided by 2 omega ms into V square divided by Rs plus or minus of Rs square plus Xs plus Xr prime whole square. Okay, so we'll get the maximum torque equation here. Okay, so then let us draw the speed torque characteristics of the equivalent circuit diagram for per phase. Okay, so then let us draw this. X-axis is the torque, y-axis is the speed here. Okay, so we can draw the speed torque characteristics in this following fashion. So let us, I will draw, you can look here, so same drawing I have drawn here. Okay, sorry. Okay, so then it has the positive, so then negative, so you can draw same thing here what I have drawn here. So then it has the extended equation here, so then we have the, okay, similarly I have drawn the same thing. You can observe this here, you can observe this here in this diagram. So then this is the torque here, this is the speed here. We know that the rotor torque has the slip in the equation here. Okay, so then this is the, we'll call it as the omega ms. Okay, or we'll call it as the no load speed here. So here it is the negative no load synchronous speed here. Okay, so we have the slip 0 in the no load speed here. Okay, we have the slip 0 here in the no load speed and slip 1 here. So when we are drawing in per phase, it is an equivalent circuit diagram. So then both or all the three phases are in phase. That is, let us consider A, B, C are in phase. Okay, so then whatever is drive is rotating in the forward motoring here. So this is the forward motoring block, you can see this here. So then when we are going to change that in the 120-degree phase shift here, so then it will be forward. So this is nothing but the forward regenerative braking here. It is operating in the second quadrant. Similarly, same whatever we have here, so that is in the negative phase also. Okay, so when we are going to change the phase, normal phase voltage is in reverse voltages, that is AC into ACB here. So ACB, when we change the phase of the supply or reverse supply, so then it is occurring in the reverse motoring here. In this region reverse motoring is happened here. Similarly, the negative of that will be reverse regenerative braking here. So the extended part of this will be, okay, whatever the I have made the mark here, that is reverse flagging. Similarly, here it is in second quadrant, forward flagging. So first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. It means it is operating in all the four quadrant depending upon the phase supply. If the phase supply are in normal phase, then it is operating in first and second quadrant. If it is in reverse, it is in third and fourth quadrant. Then whatever we are getting the speed here, okay, that is related by the slip, so by this equation. So this is about the speed torque characteristic of the induction motor. Right now what is the time here? So 27. So let us have explain some last point here. So then we'll see the next topic. So the analysis of three-phase induction motor fed from non-sinusoidal supply here. So whatever we have the supply voltages in non-sinusoidal supply is a supply voltage as the harmonics here. Okay, so in three-phase induction motor we have the supply voltages in all the three phase. If you are going to consider the three-phase power supply, all the phases VA, VB, VC, all the three supply voltages have some harmonics here. Let us consider we have the sinusoidal signals. So let us consider the square wave here. Okay, so it has the phase A here. Okay, so let us draw this. Okay, so let us draw the phase A here, or directly I will draw it as A. Okay, so we can call it as VA here. So then it has the x-axis is the WT or omega t here. So if we are going to shift the 120-degree phase shift here with the next phase voltage VB, so this is the 180, so it means phase shift will be 120-degree phase shift here. So then 120 phase shift will be like this. Okay, similarly, if we have another 120 phase shift of the VB here, So then Vc will be, sorry, so you can look here, because somewhat I am not getting to draw that clearly. So you can see this. So this is the normal phase shift Va. So we have the phase shift of 120 degree, then we have the Vb with respect to omega t here. So then 120 degree phase shift of Vb will be the Vc here. So you can see this here. Okay, so you can look 120 phase shift degree here. Here 120 is there at pi. So 120 degree will be here. Similarly 120 degree, if here it is the pi here at this point. Okay, so 120 degree of this Vb will be like here somewhere. So you can draw this. Okay, so these are the three different square wave. Then usually the voltage is whatever we have the in the three phase induction mode are having the odd harmonics due to quarter wave symmetry here. Okay, because there will be 120 degree phase shift in all the three phases here. That's why. So though, even though they have harmonics here, so those are in quarter wave symmetry. Okay, so let us uh, write the single phase harmonics here. Across the all the three phases, Van is equal to V1 sin omega t. So it is a sinusoidal signal, as we say that. So then Va1 will be V1 sin omega t. So then Vbn will be the 120 degree phase shift for negative voltages here. Okay, so that's why it is V1 sin omega t minus 2 pi by 3 will be the Vb here. Similarly Vcn1 will be V1 sin omega t plus 2 pi by 3, here first to 120 degree phase shift here. So then we have the first two sequence. So this is for normal sequence here, whatever we have the ABC here, normal sequence. So then if we changed the three phase supply here, so then Va1 will be V3 sin 3 omega t, then Vbn3 will be V3 sin 3 of omega t minus 120 degree phase shift. If you simplify this, you will get the V3n, V3 sin omega 3, Vcn3 will be V3 into sin 3 of omega t plus first 2 of 120 degree phase shift. Again, if you simplify this, you will get the V3 sin 3 omega t. So whatever we are getting in the third harmonic voltages does not produce any torque here. So all the harmonics in the three phases are same order here. It means they have been cophasial harmonics here. Okay, so same way, if we have written the harmonics across the fifth harmonics, then Van 5 will be same equations here. So those are written as V5 sin 5 omega t, then Vbn5 is equal to V5 sin 5 omega t minus 2 pi by 3 here. So if you are going to simplify this, you will get the V5 sin 5 omega t plus 2 pi by 3 here. Okay, similarly Vcn5 will be same V5 sin 5 into omega t minus 2 plus by 2 pi by 3 here. If you simplify this, you will get the V5 sin 5 omega t minus 2 pi by 3. So whatever we have the equation here in the third harmonics, in the first harmonics, so we have the first two phase sequence here. So we got the reverse of this here. Here it is 5 omega 5 sine 5 omega t here. So here it is V5 sine 5 omega t plus here, but here in the phase of in VB N1 here V1 sine of omega t minus here, but here it is a plus here. So in this fifth harmonics, okay, so we got the reverse voltages, that is A, C, B, okay. So then this will be the negative sequence of the three-phase induction motor here, okay. So this is about the analysis of three-phase induction motor fed from the non-sinusoidal supply. So let us look the continuation part of this in the next class, okay. Thank you one and all.